Okay. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon. Great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your place of domicile. I welcome you to this program. Of course, while you are joining, share the video, invite others to join. Wherever you are joining us from, share the video, invite others to join. Very, very important as we have come back to continue where we stopped. My apologies to one of my comrades whom I supposed to call yesterday. I was actually trying my best to get my phone plugged for charging. And then I don't know what happened. The broadcast just stopped. So maybe you might even be sleeping by then. So my apologies. It was my mistake. I forgot. Great and wonderful people of Biafra all over the world and great people of Africa. I greet you and I welcome you to this program. Wherever you are watching from, are you watching from East? Are you watching from the global? Are you watching from the global north? You are welcome. South, you are welcome. West, you are welcome. Wherever you are watching from, you are welcome to this program. Share the video. Invite others to join. Good evening. Good evening. This evening we are, depending on where you are watching from, but I know in Biafra land it is evening. So we are going to actually talk about the statement made by Goodluck Jonathan, Raphael Adolf. Good evening, and Akujobi Uluchuku. Good evening and welcome. So it is important that we actually, the more these people speak, actually, the more we understand how they reason. Whenever they come online and speak, you will pick up something and understand how they reason. Because, I know I am not supposed to talk about him based on, I have a lot of respect because I have a lot of respect for him. Good luck, Jonathan. I have a lot of respect for him. But it is not to an extent that if he actually bring some thoughts or initiative or any influence that might actually misrepresent him or misrepresent his level of reasoning, I believe that we need to actually call him in order or call him to order. The reason why I am doing this is because I respect him so much, and of course, he is my brother. Now, there was an interview which he granted to, I think, Arise Television, I believe, which he said, you know, he said actually, well, I say so few things, but, you know, so many things. It is the same interview that I actually want to pick up one or two things that he said that does not make sense. And I will, you know, bring something that will show you it doesn't make sense. So, of course, you saw the Labour Party. The Labour Party was in court with so many evidences, as with so many evidences which showed, okay, we are, we showed that this Nigeria, we you know, we all called, or we all, you all call your country. The Nigeria you call your country is a country that does not actually, you know, have shame. The worst type of people that you will want to deal with are those who does not have shame. You know, regardless of everything, they are proud of their idiocy. You know, it is actually politics. Politics is a game that you will play without shame. It is a dirty game. It is not at all a good game. A very, very dirty game. That's why people does not have shame. Proud of doing evil. Proud of being, you know, wicked. Proud of being good for nothing. Proud of being, you know, proud of being proud. I'm proud of making stupid mistakes that they make all the time. And they expect each and every time they make such mistake, you will come out, give them a round of applause because they are God. That's what whoever that the elite that controls them made them. They are God of these people. While they have the God that govern the, you know, them that is lower God. And at the end of the day, you will find out that deliberately these people who place them there, using them, making sure that, you know, they control them into turning back on you. They control them into being so mean. They control them, manipulate them. They will not even be running a country. They believe they are running their own business. They don't understand that they are running the country, that even a child, a beggar on the street has equal share. That's what these people don't understand. That's what they do not, you know, have. They do not know that a beggar on the street has equal share as you who call yourself a leader in that country called wherever it is. Everyone has equal share. The only thing is that people select who will be their leader, who will put all their shares together in order to build a future heaven or safe heaven. That is the reason why you all put it together, hand it over to him, multiply this, give us account. We don't want complaint. We don't want you to say this and this and that. That's what you did to the, you know, to the leaders. And you will always not understand that this is exactly what you have done for this leader. He is not the God that he see himself to be. He is just an ordinary person, the same person who owns the same amount of share that you hold in this country, the same right that you own, that works for you in this country. Both of you, you have it equally until you decided to gather all these things, give him or hand it over to him to manage it. So he is actually the business guy whom you are investing on. You invested in his initiative because you believe that he is going to give you a profit that is going to be beneficial for you. But now you entrusted this business guy, or the so-called business guy, you entrusted him with your hope, with your future, with your life, with your actually security, with everything, infrastructure, electricity, hospital, under infrastructure, and then you trusted this person with all this in the name that once I invest in him, he is going to make these things adequate. He is going to bring these things around, and he is going to multiply it that I may gain more than I invested. But when these people get there, they see themselves. Now we are superior. We control army and police. The problem is that it is something that they have never expected, or something that they have never, believed that it will come to them, being a black person that they are. That is the reason why I said we must start teaching leadership. They must add leadership to our curriculum. If it is if it is the the biggest thing they are going to do for us, put leadership in our curriculum so that children will start from their tender age to understand the real meaning of leadership. Because this leadership is something that you don't understand, you have forgotten. The time you lost your greatness, you lost the ability to lead. You lost the ability to be a leader. You have lost that memory, which is something you need to actually try to find again. That is the only thing that will help us out of this mess that you have found yourself. Every African country is in a mighty mess with the Western world. Regardless of these leaders coming to speak bravely, there are many things to it. There are many things that you need to understand. You speak, you are quite brave. I concur, but in a sense, when you are brave, you understand that these people have cut deep, so deep, and with both sides of the weapon is rough. If you push it in, it hurts more. If you push it out, it hurts more, even more. So what are you going to do? It gets stuck. Swallow it? No, you can't. You are dying. Vomit it? No, you are dying. It is like those when you find yourself in a crossroad without knowing which way to turn. That is exactly what these people did with you. So if you are learning how to actually speak with regards to your mind emancipation, or with regards to your physical, freedom, you need to consider and understand the fact that these people play politics. So you need to find and understand a superior politics in order to use to engage these people. I am talking about sovereign nations. I am not talking about those contraption that has been overrun by their colonialists or by the imperialist, you know. I am not talking about them. I am talking about government with, that know that it is time for change. Those are the people I'm referring to. I'm not referring to Nigeria government, because Nigeria government, they will never wake up from their slumber. They will never. They are compromised to the core. You know how much they compromise all this group of cabals. You call yourself leaders, Nigeria elites. You call yourself, those Igbo elites, or Arewa elite, Yoruba elite, just like the group of those cabals. You will believe that these people, they will wake up. They don't reason like the way you reason. Do you know why? It is like you going to sell your brother to a stranger. After selling your brother to a stranger, now the stranger return. Now the stranger is now using it against you. Do you think that you will ever do anything that will bring a change again, other than pleasing the stranger? You will continue to please the stranger, so that the stranger will not tell the rest of the family member you were the one who sold your other brother that went missing. That is exactly the way it looks. That is how compromised these people are. So there is nothing you will gain out of them. They are not willing to change. They are actually, they are based on sentiment. They don't understand the politics, because the politics is more, it is more advanced than them. These people are some of them are too old, especially the ones that are placed in the position of this politics, or the father of this politics in this nation. That person is too old. They can no longer articulate. They can no longer brainstorm. They can no longer think out of the box. The only thing they do, it is, how do we serve the master and serve him well? Maintain the agreement, because, of course, this agreement is putting food on your table, building house in Dubai for you, giving you a special hospital suite in France or in Britain or in the United States even, or Dubai, even in India. So, having all that, my children are living 5-star life. When they get sick, they fly abroad. When my children need holiday, they go abroad. When they are celebrating their birthday party, they celebrate it in Dubai. If they want to do shopping, they do it in Dubai. These people, everything they do, it is all about pleasing the world, outside world, more than pleasing themselves. They will not even support the brand that is coming out of where they are recognized as first citizen. They will not recognize the brand coming out of it. These are the people who you want them to recognize brand coming out of Africa. It is not possible, because these people, they cannot even discover themselves. How do you expect them to discover a greatness coming from another black? Because they hate themselves. How do you want them to extend the love in the Pan-African movement, or the quest for African emancipation and freedom? How do you then expect them to do so? They will never. The only thing you will expect from them is them being very brutal, to you, because now they have institutionalized this poverty. They will impoverish you. They will make sure they control you through this institution called poverty, because anytime they call on you, you will answer them. Of course, you are hungry, and when you are hungry, you become stupid at some point, because there will not be enough oxygen in your brain, to help the brain to function properly. That is exactly the problem that we are facing. These people you see, they will never bring the light. They will never sustain the light. They will never produce the light. They will never look for the light. All they do is stand on that one that they could use to see. They will never maintain the light. They will never do anything in benefit of those who are around them. The only people they will care about, it is their family member, their offspring, it is all about them. Everything that you have actually invested in them, they use it to invest in their own selfish aggrandizement. They will buy their girlfriend a house in Dubai. Some of these slave queens you see in the movies and all over the place, moving around, they are slaying your leaders. They will buy them house in Dubai. They will buy them mansion in the US, buy them the collections of cars. These are the people, places where they spend your money. Now, this type of people, do you think they will ever bring you to, you know, a better world inside Africa? When in Africa, in this, you know, era where we see Africa leaders where advocating for a better deal from the master, advocating for a better deal from the master. And at the end of the day, the master knew that there will be a time when you will change, and because they always understand, or they understood that change is the only thing that is constant. So they expect your change. They manufactured you. They actually refurbished you. And now calculate the date of your, the refurbishment, the day it will expire. And they already now made another move. Each and every time they tell you first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, third industrial revolution, they are using it to implement things that will continue to hold you down, because you cannot operate these things, you cannot do without them. They own the technology, you own the raw materials. Now they take your raw materials, they have to use it to build the technology, and this technology, you cannot get it without them building it. Even though you have whatever it takes an extra to build it, you cannot, because you do not have those people who are going to lead you to success, or who are going to be innovative, or who are going to be productive. But they are only leading you because you will become consumer all your life. You will never be a producer. So they will always use those things that they can use your resources to do to hold you ransom. Now, go to Congo. You will see many resources, different types of resources. They have oil. Congo have uranium. Congo have cobalt. Congo have diamond, I believe, or gold. Congo have it all. Is there any peace in Congo? The answer is no, because in Congo, the people that will always be there, has always been there, that has always been there, they were never, you know, about the people. They were about themselves. All of them are very affluent. All of them are very, comfortable, doing whatever they want to do, flying themselves abroad. If there is any chaos or problem, they are the ones to first people to evacuate or to run away. So they have made them, they make their life very, very, beautiful, or will I say colorful, because colorful fade. Anything colorful will fade at some point. It does not remain the same. So it is actually a futuristic, event that will take place. So now everything they are colorful, they appear to be very colorful because it was they were placed there because of how selfish that they are. If you are not selfish enough, you will never be placed there. You must be selfish for you to be placed there. So they were selfish, they were placed there. And at the end of it, they can never do anything to benefit you that invested in them. Forget about the type of politics. There are a few African countries that always have free and fair election. I've been following African election. It is not up to four of them that always conduct free and fair election. And those African countries that does not conduct a free and fair election, there is nothing that will ever move forward there. It is all about disaster. People from there will be running helter skelter. They will never ever do, anything to stop their people from running, because it is in their own pleasure for you to run away. When you run away, it means that their family will have extra to steal. If you run away, run away, run away, who is going to remind them that those graduates need employment? Because you graduate, you run away, you sell land, sell everything you have, you run away, you run to abroad, believing that no, but you say that whenever you put a bowl, the water that is, inside a bowl outside is a water that no matter how much the dog will run around, the dog will go back there and drink it. It will never escape it. Otherwise, he will die of dehydration. So, whatever that you are doing, this responsibility of going to fight for your own freedom will continue to wait for you. Whether you die in abroad, they bury you there, or whether you die, they bring you back. The responsibility you will never run away from. If you understand what a reincarnation is. A reincarnation is that whichever hellfire you create now, you are a leader. You create hellfire here, believing that no, if a window. Then, when you die, you will come back to face that hellfire that you have created. The rod, it rotates. You see, the world orbit around the, okay, let me say, the world or the sun rotate or orbit. When it reaches its peak, it will now return. Now, the way it is, once you get old or you died early because of your decisions, you die young because of your decision, whichever decision it is, like what I am doing right now, it is a decision that I have taken, knowing that it is a dangerous decision. So it is a decision I make. Now, it will determine how long you are going to live, right? So, in this regard, if you die young, you died of your decision that you make or you took. Now, in that regard, you will now come back to your hellfire when the time is right. You come back. Because you will be expecting that you came from Ike Kweremadu family this time. You guys were very affluent. You lack nothing. There is nothing you are lacking. Then something happens to you. Then if there is you will go to the family of those who are very, very wretched, that are beggars, or those who sleep under the bridge. You will go to that family. That's where you will start from to inherit what you have sown. All the sufferings that all of us or every one of us are actually going through today, it is as a result of what we did in our previous life. And now, for you to correct it, before you correct it, you will know that it is a kingdom of God suffered violent, but the violent taketh it by force. Now, you need to understand that I have to starve myself in order to achieve something in future. You have to actually, hurt yourself in order to be happy in future. You have to work hard in order to be happy in future. You have to do something that endangers you in order to be happy in future. What are those? Calling for a change. Calling for a change in every means possible. Call for a change. That is asking for forgiveness. And that is the only way you will be forgiven, because you have to pay a sacrifice. And it is only sacrifice. That is when the Europeans understood the type of God we have. That it is a God that requires sacrifice. They now bastardize the sacrifice that our God requires. That is the reason why they don't mind, killing each other, killing the whole world, just to get what they want. They don't even mind them dying as well, just to get to what they want. Are you ready for long suffering? Are you ready to suffer for a while before it becomes better? Because it is now time that it is only going to be better after you might have suffered for a while. Regardless of how you believe or how you want to outsmart it, you must suffer for a while before it becomes perfect. That is called transitioning. You transition yourself to be great after you might have suffered for a while. Before gold becomes a gold, before gold becomes an ornament, it passed through many fire. It passed through many fire. And that fire is what is about to come, that you have to pass through. Are you ready? Or are you going to say, I'd rather sit in my comfort zone? That comfort zone will continue to destroy you. People will never take you serious. People will never see you as anybody, because regardless of how great you might appear in another country where you will never be you are nothing, because you are maybe single man success. The only time they will take you serious is when there is a group of successful people. Groups of successful people. That's what people respect, than single man success amidst the group of failure. It is only the group of failure that are going to be applauding you as a success amongst failure. Only those failure will applaud you, will respect you, because they want to feed on you. But those who understand that one man's success is no man's success, they are the only people who will see you as nothing, because you don't even have security, but you claim you are successful. You are not even going to walk in the street where you say you have become a leader. You cannot walk without a bodyguard. Then you will tell us you are successful. Why can't you walk without a bodyguard? Why can't you drive in a convoy? Why can't you drive without a convoy, rather? So that you will now feel the sense of belonging. Have you now seen how you have ripped yourself of the sense of belonging? That is the way you feel, is the way people around you that you call your, your voters, those you are leading, your constituencies, you call them those, the way you feel insecure around them, it is the same way they feel insecure around you. That if they will get their hands on you, they will tear you apart without those bodyguards. And it will never change, because the relationship you have with human being will never remain the same. All because you do not know how to govern, or you are a tyrant, or you are evildoer. And the only place you people emulated such act is from the imperialist leaders, from the colonizers. Those are the places you inherited such. I am telling you the honest truth. African palaces are places like Gold Reef City. African palaces, you see, are places like those places in Kenya, where people, is it Mount Kilimanjaro, or the biggest mountain in Kenya, or is it in Tanzania? Because I can't tell the geographical. Okay, it is the geographical location either in Tanzania or in Kenya, because it is very close to each other. So that mountain, you know how people are visiting it, the tourists. That actually, it is like the most popular place where people can go or will go and feel safe. That is the leader's palace, the people's palace. That is exactly what you will understand. These are the things that they have taken away from you. You have no freedom with your people anymore, because you are supposed to be their God, and you have actually been their God, and you have dealt with them. You are dealing with them. So you will, as of course, if you are actually attacking me, you are not safe as well. Whatever you are doing to me, When you are holding me on the ground, you are holding yourself, because you will hold me to the extent, because of course you are scared, you are very skeptical, you do not know what I can do when I rise up from the ground. So you will be very, very, you will also be very scared while you are the one holding me on the ground. Vis-a-vis. The most important thing we need to understand is your relationship with people that you are better than, or you see yourself to be better than. Relationship with the people that are under you. Relationship you with. That is the reason why it is important for Africa to bring back or bring leadership into their curriculum. It is going to be beneficial. It is going to help. Because if we do that, then the children, from the time they will become children, they will know how to be a leader. They will understand that it is not when someone give you opportunity to call you a leader or to respect you, you take advantage of them. Because now Africa believe that once I appear to I show you all about me, now you have to take advantage. Or once I appear vulnerable to you, now you want to take advantage of me. That is exactly the real reason why you need to establish leadership subject in your curriculum as soon as possible, if we are going to talk about greatness of Africa in future. Because those younger generation, they need it. Otherwise, the mistake that you do, they will continue to do it. Why do they need it? They should understand the African leadership pre-colonialism. The palace of a leader who is seen as a president of today, because we do not call them president, we call them the king. It is a place where people are free to go. You can even go there when you are hungry. You will eat. The palace of the king. It is place for all, because everybody is actually trying. They love their king because their king loves them. They treat their king good because their king treats them good. They will never allow evil to befall their king because their king treat them good. Imagine if there are police. Imagine if there are DSS. Imagine if there are army that are still in Nigeria and they continue to love these leaders, even though they give them 40,000 as a salary every month. 40,000, how much is in dollar? How much is it in dollar? $1 is politically correct. I would say 500. $1 is 500, right? Then 500 times 20. 500 times, okay, 500 times how much gives you 40,000? Is it times 20? Yeah, just do the mathematics. I'm not good at that. How many 500 gives you that amount? 40,000. That is how many dollars the police in Nigeria is collecting. $1 equal to 500 naira. Naira. The tissue paper, which is the fiat money they called everything. So, if 500 naira times how many dollar, okay, times how much makes 40,000 naira. Now you will understand, or maybe 500 times 8, right? Is it times 800? Maybe. Gives you that amount. It is the amount of money that your police is receiving, the amount of money the police is receiving. Let's see. Let me actually do the mathematics. Let me do the mathematics. Let's see how many dollar Nigeria police is receiving. $500 times 80 is 40,000. So it means that it is $80. $80 that your police is receiving every month in Nigeria. $80. It is not even a minimum wage in USA. It is not a minimum wage in USA. Then this police, this army that is receiving less than $100, if we want to actually make it sound better, we give it $100, which is 50,000. Then your police and army is receiving it, yet they are still loyal, ready to die to protect or to answer to the person who is robbing them. Have you now are you now getting it? How loyal people can be with their leaders, even though they are being tortured, used, they are still loyal. Imagine the time when the leaders were good to everybody. Now, what do you think those people will do for them? They will die for the leader. They can die for the leader. They can take a bullet for the leader. They can do anything for the leader. Imagine African leadership, how it could be if you treat people like animals, yet they are still ready to die to protect you. Imagine if you treat them better. What are they going to do? Imagine if you give them what they deserve. Do you think there will be corruption? Because you don't give anybody what they deserve. You have never given anyone what they truly deserve. It is just because you institutionalize poverty that whatever you give them, they see it as you doing them a favor. That's the way it is. So let me not lose sight of what I am actually talking about. There is something Goodluck Jonathan said here that I want to touch on. And then hearing it from him, I don't know if it is old age. I don't know what exactly was that, but I want to show you what he said here that I don't understand, that I want to find out exactly what he means. Listen to him.
The president-elect, Ahmed Bola Tinubu,
Listen.
for inaugurating the president-elect, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and the vice president-elect, Senator Shetima. Their own mood is slightly different because President Buhari has graciously served 8 years. God has helped him serve 8 years. And is handing over, not to another political party, but is handing over to his own political party. So the circumstances presently is quite different. But I know the mood of the country generally is because of the issues bordering on the elections. So some people are happy, some people are sad, so all kinds of sentiments and feelings. In my own time, especially the 2015 election, my ministers, my senior officers, people who worked with me, there was this fear that this one that we've lost the election, what will be our fate? Will the new government just throw all of us into jail without giving us even fair hearing? Because government is next to God, can decide to do anything.
Government is next to God.
That fear was in the minds of people. Some people feel, could I even run away? Should I stay in the country? But to them, that will not be much of a problem. because it's the same party that has taken over. So the tension we faced then, the Buhari's team may not face the same tension. Yes.
Do you know why he made this reference that he made here? You might not understand the reason why he made this reference he made here, because he knows that if a good person goes into the position of power, the outgoing government must be arrested and be prosecuted. And they know very well that if they did not manipulate the election and give their stooge this same power, it is going to be a very bad market for them. Because these same people, they know what they did, but they cannot talk so that it does not destroy their political ambition, or they will not be seen as people who are diplomatic enough to be a national president. That is the reason why so many of them knows that is imposter in Aso Rock, and they have done every criminal activities that, of course, if you get this power to pass somebody who want to work for the country, that person will definitely put them behind bars. That is exactly what I pick up in this. This is called a constructive, talk. It is very, very constructive and political. That's what he said here. You want to listen to it again? Let's listen to it again so that you will understand it as we continue to move on.
That will not be much of a problem, because the same party that can decide to do anything. That fear was in the masses. People who worked with me, there was this fear that this one that we've lost the election, what will be our fate? Will the new government just throw all of us into jail without giving us even fair hearing? Because government is next to God, can decide to do anything. That fear was in the minds of people. Some people feel, could I even run away? Should I stay in the country? But to them, that will not be much of a problem, because it's the same party that has taken over. So the tension we faced then, the Buhari's team may not face the same tension. Yes, some few people may have some issues that bother them, but on the average, they will not have that kind.
Did you hear that? I hope you understand it. That is the way it is. That's exactly what he is saying. They don't have to worry, because it is the same cabals that has been placed there, controlled by the same cabal, the same elite. Nothing has changed. That's why they cannot be scared or skeptical about anything, because they are still in charge. Now, let's continue. There is something I want you to hear. This is actually not the one I want you to listen to.
Kind of feeling, but it used to be tense, really. And by this time, then of course already I've considered defeat to the president, so that was completely over. And I knew why I considered defeat, because I was more interested in the country than myself, which I advise every politician to be more interested in the country than themselves. Without a country, there will be no president. So I know it used to be tense.
And how do we ensure that Nigeria comes out?
Without the country, there will be no president. Somebody is telling you a milokon. So it means that they are more interested, in themselves. They are more interested in themselves. Now, let's continue to listen.
Out of the current electoral controversy through reforms that will help grow the country's democracy.
The problem we have is the electoral management body, INEC, and the security. And I used to give an example.
The problem we have is the electoral governing body, the INEC, and their security. That is the problem he said we have. Now, let us hear what will be his solution. Let us hear what is going to be his solution. And that is where I have problem with everything that he has spoken here. He said well, he thought well, but whatever is his solution here is where I have a very, very serious problem. That is where you will understand it is a game of master and the other one that is being played now in the world. Listen to Goodluck Jonathan. This is a professor. This man is a professor. This man is academia. This man is a well intelligent man. But listen to what he says. He's an intellect. But listen to his solution and see how valid it is.
If two soccer teams are playing and the referee decide to look the other way, they will enjoy themselves. If people are contesting for elections, should expect that it's like a soccer game. Everybody wants to win. And you must not allow it. The electoral management bodies share more than 60% of the blame. Because if they do their work well, the politicians will have no choice than to follow the rules. They, the security, and the courts. I believe one day we'll get there, but I feel sad now that our electoral process is still wobbling. So we have migrated from candidate to beaver, which is a superior technology. Why do we still have problems? Manual voting, we have problems in this country. Electronic, we have. So where is the problem coming from? Is the independent is the electoral management bodies, INEC in this case. INEC has to sit up so that they will not throw this country into conflagration one day. And people must be serious. INEC must sit up.
They will not throw this country into conflagration or whatever you say. The country is already in dire straits. The situation of the country is already under the bus. You are just actually not getting the point. You are not getting the point because the point is that the country is gone, beyond return. And it is not because I am threatening the country. It is because there is no country here. That is the reason why people want to create their own countries out of this contraption. So that is not exactly where I have issues, but I believe from this point I will be seeing more issues. Now let's continue.
Should commission one of these internationally known IT companies, they will want to protect their image and allow them to build a system for us and also manage it during our elections. We can train our people, but they should manage it. That this last election, they say, one director in charge of IT did this or did not do that. If you bring Google or one of these giants and they agree to build it and manage it for you,
okay,
there will be nobody in Nigeria will not be involved.
Okay.
So
this is where I have a very serious problem. This is where I have a very serious problem. Where are we now? He said in the 21st century that a country who call themselves a country, where they call themselves a country and they talk about sovereignty, where they call themselves a country and talk about somebody risking their sovereignty. Now listen to what a former president is suggesting for you in Nigeria, for you to know how bad things have gone in Nigeria. That is the reason why the president emeritus, in the likes of Goodluck Jonathan, on the name of Goodluck Jonathan, told you that the solution is to go and look for IT companies outside Nigeria because there is nothing that is going to be trusted inside Nigeria, maybe even in Africa, to in the extension of Africa. They cannot find it. They must go there, look for IT companies who actually care about their reputation, as if he is going to be with those IT companies even when you hire them, to make sure that they did not put their reputation on the line. This IT company, they are looking for money. Because the problem I have here is because this man believed that there is no corruption in this other world, that the corruption starts, ends in Africa. Where is the game of the elite? This man did not understand exactly what was going on. Now you will understand that he is not a politician. He is not a politician. That is that is the thing that will justify his statement here. He is not a politician. That was the reason why he was better than many of those politicians who led Nigeria. And that is the reason why they removed him so fast. He is also naive. Sorry to say that. He is also naive. He believed that if you can take your election management or election collation management and give it to Western-owned companies or IT companies, that they will not be manipulated. That's what he believed. Why does he think that YouTube is suppressing some things? Why do they think that YouTube suppress some things? Is YouTube not part of them? They suppress you. You know why? Because they are, they want to continue to filter this adulterated truth from the mainstream media. That's why they will always try to censor your messages. They can be bribed. Any of these companies can be bribed. Are you there? You are not actually IT wise. You want to hand over your country to the same people who are the elite that controls the world. Have you now seen how bad it is that a president emeritus is suggesting that IT companies like Google will be more trustworthy to control the zoo called Nigerians election? That the IT company like Google will control your election without being sided or biased or intimidated. People don't understand exactly the game of the elite. You don't understand how corrupt this world is. He is so naive and innocent. Oh, he is not a politician. No wonder. No wonder. If you understand the reason why Donald Trump is not actually, the reason why they just gave him one tenor and push him away, it is because he's not a politician. He is not a politician. They didn't know how he got there. They were so surprised, he took them by surprise. That's why they have to do everything to make sure he doesn't come back. He is a natural person. If you want to be naive, he is naive. If you want to be racist, he can be racist. If you want to be mean, he can be mean. He doesn't want to be politically correct. He just does things the way real people do their things. He doesn't want to be a green snake in a green grass. He just wants to live his life inside the political world. They told him, no, it is not how we do it here. you need to you need to always be politically correct. You need to sugarcoat your words. You need to sugarcoat your action. You need to lie to them sometimes. You need to be like this sometimes. But that was not his person. He was not a politician. So that's why this, Uncle Goodluck is so naive. He is so naive. He want to, you will trust Google. I'd rather trust even INEC more than trusting Google with Nigeria election. It is like trusting Britain. Why he didn't tell us to go and trust Britain, British government with the Nigeria election? They will be managing it for us. That is how bad it is. It is very bad. Everything is in dire strait. Everything, your future is in a limbo. There is nothing that is actually, you don't even have, you are not certain of anything. You are not certain. He could not trust the IT coming out of Africa, but we could trust Google from the USA. Now, the same USA, the president that was there in 2015, scare you off your position as a president of Nigeria. Scare you. You are now telling us the reason why you conceded, knowing that you did not lose the election, but you conceded because you put Nigeria first. Putting Nigeria first, you are sitting in that Nigeria you put first. Where you are coming from, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, you don't have electricity there. There is not even, electricity is not in your area where you originated from. Yet, you put Nigeria first. Knowing that you are handing this Nigeria you put first to the hands of the enemy, to the hands of people that will destroy lives. More than 71,000 people have died because of that decision you made, right? By saying you put Nigeria first. There is nothing that justifies any action you people are making. You never put Nigeria first. You saved your head. You saved your head. That's what you did. You were not, resolute enough to continue what you've started. You allow them to take over. You allow them to kill more than 71,000 in two tenor. If you were there, if you did not allow them to bring corruption, if you do not allow yourself to be actually intimidated by the speech of Barack Obama, I don't think all these things you are saying might be there. It will not. You didn't put anybody first. You just saved yourself. I don't even know what was pursuing you. A first citizen. Nothing was pursuing you. PDP. It was under you that PDP lost this position of power. If not that you were there as a non-politician, PDP will never lose the position of power in Nigeria. They lost it because of you. You know why? Because you are naive. And the same naivety is what you are bringing now by saying IT companies like Google to do election collation or to control election in Nigeria, because you want to, since you are, okay, let's listen, let's actually finalize and hear what he says next. Listen.
Be completely neutral. And probably when we get to that level where all those who have smartphones will not need to go to any place to vote, you bring out take it, go to your unit and press the button and you vote. You can vote in your kitchen, you can vote in your bedroom, you can vote in your sitting room, you can vote in your car. Even if you're in the US, you can vote.
And the outcome of the 2023 presidential election is being challenged in very controversial circumstances, just like that of 2007 that brought you and late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua to power. Any advice to share on the best ways to resolve electoral disputes without plunging the country into a crisis, especially for those who are in court challenging the victory of Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
I say, when I took that decision, was not too exposed to the global election processes, and especially in Africa. And since I left office, I've been leading election observation missions. Even this year, I'm going to lead the African Union team to Zimbabwe, and the elections will come up. They already gave me the letter, pending when the government would fix the date for the election. So I've been involved in a number of elections now. But one thing about Nigeria, which I believe we must correct, and which a decision I took when I was the vice president, that if I have the opportunity to be corrected, is this idea of conduct of elections. Probably that made me to appoint somebody I did not even know to be the electoral umpire. And a number of people say you did the wrong thing. Some people felt, well, you wanted to
See how you
correct
lost
something.
the election.
I feel worried that in Nigeria,
He's not a politician.
our elections are still so controversial. We have not accepted our electoral results. We're at the giant of Africa. If we have not gone to the moon, then at least we should be in position to lead Africa in terms of democracy. We should be able to conduct free and fair elections that other African countries say, look, why not do what Nigeria
have done. Now, I want you to know now the reason why we told you if we can uproot every structure that is actually rooted by this colonialist, if we can uproot all these structures, Nigeria is number one of them. Because even Mandela recognized that if you get Nigeria right, you get Africa right. And that is exactly the reason why we will always tell you that the freedom of Biafra is the freedom of Africa. Because now the so-called giant, it is where the problem began. It is where the problem began. Now, the amalgamation. It is a structure. That amalgamation structure, it is a setback to, the people who are living there, and to the Africa in extension. They are the giant, made up of more than 200 million people. Now, from these 200 million people, if you go to some certain countries in Africa, there are some of them that are even 10 million in number. Some of them are 10 million in number. Some of them are 60 million. Now, Nigeria is 200 and something million. When they have problem that will be chasing people away from her, it means that those people will be running with the problem and the evil and the pressure they have obtained from Nigeria to any place where they are going to be domiciled. They are running with the corruption they have learned from Nigeria to any place where they have found themselves. They are running with any pressure on themselves to any place where they have found themselves. They will, from Africa, countries everywhere in Africa will be filled up with Nigerians. And then, one day when countries you have seen in, just like South Africa country, will tell you, we don't want you Nigerians. You will take offense. you will take offense. Maybe your leader will be taking offense without knowing that you are the reason why your people are undermined. You are the reason why your people are under pressure. You are the reason why your people are being insulted. You are the reason why your people run away from where they have 100% right. You don't know. You are the reason. So Africa, giant of Africa, is the reason why Africa is still not progressive. If we get Nigeria correct, you get Africa correct. The world of Nelson Mandela. And that is exactly what Professor Goodluck Jonathan is emphasizing on. It is exactly the same thing he is saying here. How do you get Nigeria right? By making sure that that thing that distracts them not to understand who is the enemy. Let us actually destroy such things. Let's just break it, break him free. Biafrans will be on their own. Yorubas will be on their own. Arewas on their own. Then there is now going to be a relationship. The relationship between these people will now be a relationship of, bilateralism, a relationship of multilateralism, a relationship of mutual respect, a relationship that you are my neighbor. That is going to be the type of relationship you will find in such regard. Because as long as they are still there together, there is no way they will agree with each other. It is a historic fact. They are tribalistic in nature. This thing called diversity is not for these people. They are tribalistic in nature. Imagine 3 official languages. Very few people speaks these 3 official languages. Very, very few people. And it is difficult to see somebody who knows 3 of them. Very, very difficult. It is difficult even to see people who know 2 out of 3. They know their mother tongue, except if they were born there. Sometimes they were even born there, but they can't even speak it. They speak only English. It is called, they are not, compatible with each other. I am not interested in you. You are not interested in me. We are not interested in each other. Then what the hell are we doing here? These are the questions. These are the things we need to look at to understand that when we get Africa, to get Africa right, we start from the head of the ocean. Nigeria is not called the giant of Africa because it does great things. Nigeria is not called the giant of Africa because it is actually advanced in technology or advanced in military or advanced in economy. Or you will say economy is they will maybe give them their economy because of the number. They are not called that because of their achievement in the global stage or in Africa stage. They are called that because they are the beginning of African failure. I am not insulting them, I'm stating a fact. because I found myself there. I found myself there. That's why I have the right to speak the truth about her. 100% right to speak the truth about her. They are not worthy of being a nation because they have no leader. It takes a nation to have a leader. It takes a contraption to have a cabals, tyrants. Now, let us continue to listen to him because the naivety of His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, I don't blame him. That is Nigeria for you. I don't blame him. But let's continue.
Has done. Why not all of us behave like Nigerians in terms of conducting their elections? Our elections have been categorized as one of the worst in Africa. And even if you ask me as a Nigerian to vet, I will admit, because I've been going to other countries. I'm not saying things don't happen in other countries, but we really, really need to improve our standard of elections. A country like Tanzania, presidential elections don't even challenge in court. Though all of us who have been leading international observation missions who have recommended that that is not the best. Even for presidential elections, the matters will go through the court process. Let people who lost the election be convinced that they lost the election. Otherwise, one day the country can implode. If somebody just boxed into a corner, you cannot even complain. It's not the best. Allow that person the leeway to complain. So to me, our own is quite good. For presidential elections, we go through two stages, appeal court and Supreme Court. For governorship elections, unfortunately, go through three stages, but I believe that aspect of the Constitution or the electoral laws will be amended. Three stages too much.
I remember during your period, one of those recommendations of the Uwais panel report was for the appointment of the INEC national chairman by the National Judicial Council, of which your cabinet then said it wasn't going to accept that recommendation. What would you proffer as a solution? Should we continue to have the president appoint the INEC national chairman, or should the National Judicial Council be in charge of appointing national?
Let us leave it here. Of course, you heard him. You heard him what he said. It is important that you understand that they go out there, they envy exactly what happens there. When they go out there, they envy what happens there. But the problem is that when they come back to Nigeria, they will not actually implement what they have learned from other places. Now, there is no way Nigeria is going to lead Africa, except if they will remove that giant, give it to some other country. Remove the giant, give it to some other countries. Because it is actually a misconception. It is a tautology. Let us listen to see the election tribunal. What came to election tribunal today. Listen to obedient, or as they continue to, do their election tribunal. Look at this. Let me play it.
Lagos. Look at how huge Apapa is. You don't want to see what happened in Apapa. P2B and the Labour Party continue tendering evidence today in court. These are results from Bayelsa, 2 boxes for Oyo, Edo, Akwa Ibom, and finally Lagos. Look at how huge Apapa is. You don't want to see what happened in Apapa. One returning officer just wrote the results. You will see the video at the end. Today also marked another reprimand of the INEC Council by the presiding judge. These guys think that the court is a playground where they can conduct themselves like they please. Anyway, before we see all that, let's take it one by one. Let's see the summary and full transcript of today's hearing at the ongoing Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, sitting at the Appeal Court Complex, Abuja. Today began with the presiding judge, Honorable Justice Samane, saying, "We have 3 petitions for today. For petition number 3, we would allocate 3 hours. Petition number days, between so number of hours." He was just laying the normal foundation for today's hearing. And the Allied People's Movement petition was supposed to be heard today. If you remember, their case was adjourned on Monday to enable them receive the certified true copies of the Supreme Court judgment on Shetima's double nomination. The court was informed that the
Double nomination. If you listen to the broadcast I made before their inauguration, I told you that he had double nomination for Senate president and for president, so that whichever one that comes out, he will take it. So double nomination for you to see how prepared these people were. They have no shame. They have one kwanya chalumpolo. They have no shame because they are politicians from Nigeria. Listen to it.
they haven't yet received the documents. So the presiding judge now moved to the next petition, which happened to be that of P2B and the Labour Party. As usual, P2B was in court with some of the Labour Party chieftains, and Levi Uzuku SAN stood up. "With due respect, my lord, we are ready." Justice Samani responded, "So start using your 3 hours." Levi SAN told the court Peter Afoba SAN will be leading the evidence for today. By the way, Peter Afoba served as an Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in Anambra under P2B. And taking over, Afoba responded, "Thank you, my lord. Before we commence for today, can we have your indulgence to complete the states which we listed as supplementary list yesterday today? In respect to River State, the supplementary list are for 6 local government areas and we have Form EC8A sheets for them. Now, this was where the INEC Council got reprimanded by the presiding judge. INEC was represented today by Pinheiro SAN. He said, "My lord, we will be objecting the presentation of these documents and all these local government areas are strange to the petitioners." Justice Samani quickly put him in order. "Mr. Pinheiro, respect the rule of the court. Don't state such." See how the judge referred to him as Mr., not Leonard Silk. Anyway, that didn't put the INEC counsel off. He replied, "I will make my address, but I just wanted to state it." The presiding judge fired back again. No, please. Why did the INEC counsel use the word strange? Is he a politician by any means? Was he implying that they didn't rig in these local government areas, that the people there voted for APC? If that's what he meant by strange, that means he indirectly accepted that they rigged the remaining 15 local government areas. Or was he trying to say that P2B isn't known in these local government areas in River State? From politicians saying that P2B isn't known in the north, to this lawyer implying that he isn't known in River State. Anyway, the court doesn't need his opinion on the popularity of a candidate. The results from River State show exactly who is more popular, and it doesn't matter whether INEC denies their own name or any certified true copy of result sheets that they gave to Labour Party. The court will determine who won the election. Also, the court is taking note of how INEC representatives are conducting themselves in court. It will help them to make up their minds quickly after going through the evidence, of course. Also, in their usual manner, counsels to APC, Tinubu, and Shetima joined INEC in objecting to the tendering of evidence by the Labour Party legal team. After the court received the results of 6 local government areas in Rivers State, the Labour Party Council went on to tender results from Bida local government area in Niger State. After that, he said, "My Lord, may we now move to Adamawa State. We seek to tender 21 local government areas certified true copies for Adamawa State." Justice Ugo quickly corrected him that it is called Adamawa, not Adamawa, or whatever he said.
What a joke.
These judges know how to crack jokes. That's how it's supposed to be. The image of a judge shouldn't be all mean, non-laughing person. Judges are humans too. LP counsel, recovering from the laughter, told the presiding judge, "My lord, there is a little typographical error on page 4. I am sorry, my lord. You will see number 22, but it is 21. The presiding judge replied, "That is no problem." The LP counsel also apologized for the wrong pronunciations, to which the presiding judge responded, "No problem. It will even make us lighter and not keep us in squeezed faces." This is true. Everyone knows how diverse Nigeria is. You can't expect someone from the south to pronounce correctly words from neighboring ethnic groups in
Did
the
you hear
south, not to
that?
talk of languages spoken in the middle belt or the far north. After Niger State, the LP Council sought the permission of the court to tender results from 8 local government areas in Bayelsa State. Like you already know, once the Labour Party Council starts to call results from local government areas in any state, the trio of INEC, APC, and Tinubu councils always object to tendering of the results, despite the fact that these results were duly stamped and given to Labour Party by INEC. This has no effect whatsoever. It doesn't prevent the court from admitting these documents in evidence, as can be seen immediately the LP Council finishes tendering results from any state. The presiding judge will affirm that the court have now marked them with the corresponding exhibit numbers.
You have a great website. Let's make sure people see it.
Okay.
GoDaddy hosting is fast,
Okay,
secure,
now-
and always online. Get the help you need with our
Now, let us. You have. I don't think I have much time to continue playing it, but you have seen those boxes. They were voters. They were votes. They were votes that was actually manipulated. Those were manipulated votes that they came with. Those are the things I wanted you to actually see. The video was still actually going and I don't have much time. So the most important thing we are talking about here, it is for us to know that even these leaders, they are well aware of what is going on. They are well aware of, the lies that is going on. They are well aware, but they do not want to talk. They do not want to speak it the way it is. They will hide it to be diplomatic correct. That's how it was. That's how it is. But as a person who want to speak the truth, you don't need to be politically correct in tackling truth like in tackling the problem like problem in Nigeria or in any other African countries. When you continue to be politically correct, they will use politics to destroy and manipulate you because they have their mainstream media that are trained professionally how to be politically correct, how to sell a particular narrative, which is even half lie, half truth, how to bring it to the public and use it to buy the votes of everybody. That's what they've been doing. But this time around, of course, we are now understanding everybody is waking up to it. How many people still watch mainstream media? I don't think there is a lot. Or if not that you come across it on social media. Thank God for social media. Otherwise, people will not be watching those things anymore, except old people who are those old people who has been brainwashed. They've been brainwashed for so many years to the extent that their mind is to it. They don't know how to get out of it anymore. So that it takes you as a younger generation to show them, to usher them out of it. The same way some of you who are religious fanatics, you were raised from it. You don't know how to actually, cut down on the type of things you digest in it. You will continue to be there because you do not know how to get out of it. You are always happy with things you are familiar with. You don't want to try new things. Now, very quickly, for us, how can you, just like I was saying yesterday, in a situation whereby you are, or now, in a situation whereby you are trying to get rid of those who placed you in where you found yourself today and destroy everything you were before they came. The only way is to play a superior politics. That will be my submission. You play a very, very superior politics. Just like you have seen, their long-term planning was they will be the ones who will create employment in your country. They will be the ones who will own the economy in your country. They will be the one who controls your economy, your country, your currency, your paper money, your fiat money. They will be the one who, just with one speech they will make, the economy will go down. And the one movement of money they will make, the economy goes down. Now, you have seen that they are holding you on your prick. Just from that, in that juncture, they are holding you there, a place that you cannot breathe. So now, when they are holding you there, how do you find a way to navigate? It is time for you to start investing in your great people. It is time for you to start, you as a rich people, bring the business home. Bring the business home. Don't always believe it is all about there because you don't trust security of where you come from. I am talking to Africa, not Nigeria, because Nigeria does not have home to bring anything. I am talking to Africa. You bring the business home. Those who are being held ransom by how many investments those big world have in your country. You bring convince your rich people, your billionaires, except if you are divided. Convince them. Let's start bringing investment home. Let's start establishing, let's start factionalizing all these things that these people will use to actually hold us on ransom. Let's bring twin of it. Let's do things that are similar to it. Let's start establishing something like that so that immediately when these people say or let's start buying them. Immediately when they are pulling off, your people are also still getting employment. They will no longer manipulate your economy. They will no longer manipulate your economic growth. They will no longer hold you on ransom. Those things is not applicable to Nigeria because Nigeria is not ready to join or to follow suit with change, especially those in the position of power. Those that are not in position of power might see it, but those in position of power does not have eyes to see them. The paradigm shift that is going on, they will not see it because they are so blind by their greed. They are so blind by their selfishness. They are so blind by their sellouts. That's why they will never see the bigger picture. So, in Nigeria, if Nigeria want to actually, join this emancipation, just like their problem is different, unlike every other African problem. Those that, Chinese will bring and give them billions. Chinese will build businesses. Or US will build businesses. Those are those people we're talking about. In regards with those like in Nigeria, you only have one problem. Do you know what that problem is? It is the amalgamation that is holding you down. It takes two agreements to work together. If you can't agree, you will never work together. Stop fooling yourselves. Don't even wait for a rocket scientist to tell you that you are basically fooling yourself. In a marriage where it does not work, what they go for is a divorce. Because all these things you are lying to yourself, it is going to work, it is going to work. Get over it. It will not work. There is nothing on earth that will make Nigeria to work as one. It is historically, abomination. It is historic abomination for them to be led by people who does not even have a country. Fulanis does not have where they call their own. They are wanderers. But they are the ones who came, bring Oduduwa, bring Biafrans, now bring Hausa people. And then put them one place. Give power to these ones who are move cattle from place to place. And now you will find now a monkey or a dog killing a lion, killing a leopard, a dog, one-on-one fight, because they have taken over the power that belongs to the lion, gave it to the dog, that will abuse it. Dog will abuse it because they like to make noise. They are so scared. That's why they will also start intimidation first. You see those small puppies, they are scared, they start intimidating you first. When they see their intimidation is not working, they run away. That is the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told you that the only language that Fulani understand is bring it the way they brought it to you. Repel against them. It will never work. If it was going to work, I'm supposed to, know all the official languages. I don't even know any of them, except the one I am actually born to speak, my mother tongue. That is the only one I know. Now, you as yourself watching me, sometimes you even know you live in their land, but you can't speak their language. The same country. It's not possible. If you go to Tanzania, they speak Swahili. If you go to, I think part of Kenya speaks Swahili. Kenya speaks Swahili as well. I think Somalia speaks Swahili. If you want to understand what Swahili look like, there was a song they made in Swahili. I've forgotten that song. So they speak this language because they can live together. That's why in Kenya, you will find population in Kenya. There is a lot of Somalians there in Kenya. A lot of Somalians. They speak the same language. a common language. Because this type of people, they can understand each other. Language is power. Language is oneness. We can only be brutal to one another. And they don't even tell me that Europeans are united. That's why they are great. The fact that they are united, they looks like they are united, it is because they know that they have to be like that in the presence of their common threat or potential threat enemy. They have to be like they're united. But they are not united. If they are united, why would Britain kill children of those Dutch people in South Africa? Why would Britain kill them to the extent that they kill their children in a war? I don't know. I can't remember that name of that war. Is it called? The war took place in South Africa. Is it called Anglophobic War or what? Something like that. So they killed these people. They are all white people. They were all white people. Have you now seen? It is not about them loving each other the way they present more than us. It is about them understanding the common enemy, potential enemy. It is about them understanding it. So it is not a must that we must say that we are one country now before you understand the unity of Africa. No. It is about understanding the common enemy. They open border across Europe, one visa. Understanding the common problem. Strengthening their border to face their common enemy. And I believe that is what that is the reason why there is this initiative called BRICS. That BRICS, they will do great. They will do great only if those big boys in it create room for equality with Africa. Not to make them a place where we collect raw materials. No, you share raw material, you share skills. You share raw materials, you share skills. You share technology, you share raw material. You take me to the moon, I give you my uranium. You take me to the sun, I give you my petrol. There must be equality. There must be trade by barter for it to stand. If they want it to stand, not using Africa to do number completion or voting power, which the West has always, has been using Africa to do. Use them to complete the number while taking what it has, what Africa, is blessed with. They go and make the finished product, and you are dependent on them in order to get such finished product, because you cannot make it even though you have what it takes. So because of that, if BRICS is not going to give Africa opportunity to share, to trade and barter what they have and what you do not have, it is a fraud. To be honest with you, I love the initiative of BRICS. I love it. I love what they're doing. But I just hope that, it is going to stand to benefit Africa. And I am not actually suggesting that the current one, which is of the West, is in benefit of Africa. Never. Never. But there is a song that said, "You never take a time to know me. make sure you take a time to know her before you form relationship. Understand what you are going there for. Make your voice to be heard from morning, from the beginning. Make sure you are there personally, emotionally, physically, intellectually, otherwise. Make sure you are part and parcel. Don't be the one that will be used as an errand boy. No, it is not the type of alliances we are looking for. That is the reason why, if you look at the activities of the agent provocateur, when I told you there is a Western agenda with agent provocateur, you might think it is me just talking. When he could tell you that although there is a lot of lies in him, the truth in him, maybe if you say good morning, you should take time to make sure it is good morning that is being, that is actually trending. It is, he said that George Bush, available George Bush, the writer, the speech writer commended him or commented in his post. Speech writer of the George Bush, and he was. Let me show you. Let me show you. I have it here, and he was proud. He was proud. He want people to be proud of him. He made a tweet. He want people to be proud of him. Now you ask him, who is George Bush? What is the history of George Bush? He led war to Iraq in the name that is the name that there is a weapon of mass destruction. That he led war to Iraq, destroyed many things. That is it. Read this from this Mbweke, from this Mugu. Read it. He claimed Epa speaks on support from Michael Jones, ex-speechwriter to George Bush, other world leaders. He wants us to start, dancing. These are the type of people Epa want them to, is aligning with to give you Biafra. Do you know how many people died in Iraq because of Iraq war? Now, these are the people that is going to give you Biafra. The same people that gave you Nigeria as an amalgamation. The same people that gave you 1960 independent. They are the same people that is lining up to give Berima in Finland Biafra. Oh, it's an insult. It is an insult. We are going to align, with people that we will have, an equal agreement that will be understood by both parties, if need be. If need be. Otherwise, we are going to get our freedom, our independence. The way it will happen will be a miracle, a shock. Is it going to happen? 100%, of course, it is going to happen. How it happened, it is going to be a mystery. But you should never relent. The most important thing is consistency. Consistency could take you to where you will not expect. It will take you to where you will never expect. The most important thing is do not make sure you are not naive. Make sure you are not emotional. Make sure you engage, rationally. Make sure you engage rationally. Don't bring your emotions to be in front. Put it behind. But understand that there is corruption everywhere. Whatever you are looking for, you should know that every other place they are looking for something that will benefit them as well. Good countries, whenever they do alignment, they do it for the benefit of their own country and their people. So you should also look for the things that is going to benefit you and your own people. Don't sell your birthright because you believe you are helpless. That is the type of freedom we want and we are looking for. We cannot sell our birthright in the name we are looking for freedom. We present things on the table. People with like mind will surely work with people with like mind. They work together. Birds of the same feather will always flock together. We do not want that type of freedom of 1960. It is a sham. It does not exist. It is actually institution. They created this as an institution to continue to foster and promote their, imperialism, their colonialism. They continue to actually elevate it systematically by giving you employment, by giving you technology, by building the finished product, by making sure that everything you need, it comes from them. But your memory verse is this time or this evening, morning, and afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. Make sure you engage rationally, not with your emotion. Don't think that anybody is superior more than you. If you have the skills, you don't have the resources. You are as good as that. You are the same as that person who have the resources and have no skills. It is 50-50. The only thing that will solve the conundrum is trade by barter. That is the only thing that solves that conundrum. So in that regard, until we meet again, stay safe, stay informed. Bye for now.